Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Floor 26 podcast, the show made by young people for everybody. My name is Adam Duffy and the Visor. And today, I'm joined by my illustrious co-hosts, Parsa Pahlevankhah.
That shit's not even on your head.
It's not?
I mean, it is, but like you can pull it down.
I got a big head. It's like, it's weird, right? Where like, do you wear visors like this?
Are you not supposed to?
No chance. This is uncomfortable as hell.
Might have to loosen up in the back a little bit.
No, you just keep it up here.
Oh, yeah. Keep it right there.
Oh, does that got hair?
Yeah, keep it right over there.
Well, I can never wear a visor because with my long hair, it would push up a little bit, then just flop out the sides. I look like a fucking mop. But now that I have short hair, I can wear visors.
There you go, man.
Yeah, there I go. And of course,
come on now.
I'm also joined by Terez Hill.
What's the deal, everybody? It's good to be back.
Getting distracted and shit.
You distracted me, man. Oh man, guys. So I was at the hospital all today, right?
Yeah.
And I actually have a funny story. So I was at the hospital working with my stepdad's team, filming videos for them and shit like that. And today I was, as well as recording videos, I was also used as a model for ultrasounding. You know, like they take the probe, they gel like the place they're trying to look at, and they probe you to look into your heart and shit like that.
Did you get aroused?
Well, I've been doing the last 2 days in a row, right? And I gotta take my shirt off and like lay on a hospital bed while a bunch of PAs and nurses. Well, first day, Tuesday when I went, it was all dudes who did their 4-step shit and stuff like that. And I was like, well, it was nothing. But then next day I actually knew going in. It was like mostly girls in that entire group. So I was like, all right. So I did some planks last night.
Did some push-ups.
I did some crunches on the ground before
He
I
said,
went,
let me get fit real quick.
before I went to bed.
I'm going to the
let me put on some pounds of muscle.
Let me get myself together.
Well, I just make sure my
real quick
chest
before
looked good.
going to
I
bed.
try to make sure my abdomen looked pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Adam sleeping on that hospital bed.
That's nice. Yeah, good,
You feel these gains?
good for you. Good for you.
And yeah, I did these two pretty cute nurse practitioners.
Oh my God.
Did their ultrasound practice on me.
Oh, wow.
I'm just sitting there.
Are they older?
But like the thing is like
Oh, no shit.
yeah, they're like 26 and shit like that. But no, but
They're 19.
I was
and
I was hoping he was gonna say like over 30 or something, like 30s.
I mean,
20s.
no, they're like ages range because it's like a thing that you go into either right out of med school or like after another profession.
there
But
we
like
go.
these were both like probably mid, maybe late 20s. And
Okay, got you.
but like they're doing their inspection and like at first they're really tentative because like the best thing to do is to like really hold on to the patient while you're holding the probe there so you don't slip, but they're like tentative to do that. And then like and so like the instructor who's trying to help them through it, they're like you want to anchor yourself to the patient, you know, you want to hold on to the patient and they're like, yeah, okay. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, it's fine.
No worries.
It's all,
I was like,
it's all right with
don't
me.
worry about it. And
That's that. Don't even trip on it. Don't even trip on it.
and then in some cases you have to like really kind of push the probe in to get a good image. Like it's fine when you're doing it on like a patient in the hospital, they don't care. But then like just doing it on me, they're trying to press in the probe and and like and constantly like, are you okay? And it's like, no, it's fine. And go deeper.
I do this.
This isn't my first rodeo,
No, but
my
then,
sweetheart.
by the end of it, like that the gel that they use, they're constantly like reapplying that shit to try to get like the best image they can. And by the end of it, my entire chest is glossy with
Glistening.
that shit.
It's just
I'm just sitting there,
glistening.
and I'm like, I have my hands like I'm like sitting on my hands, my arms just to like get them out of the way. And I'm like, my pecs are popping, dude, because they're like oiled, and they're like, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm
That
like,
hospital
I'm, like,
lighting.
holding up. Oh yeah, those hospital lights in that room is just all like fluorescent lights just coming right down. It's terrible in the editing process. I have to like color grade the shit out of the footage. Or else
Good
it
practice, man.
It is actually. I'm glad for the opportunity to constantly work on stuff like that, and it's also good because I'm just in there with my gimbal and like trying to capture the scene as best as I can. They're running simulations of actual cases, and I'm trying to capture that as best as possible for reviewing purposes. And it's gotten me good practice using my gimbal because I don't use it often. But like I've now that I get to use it as like I'm filming a scene, I'm just trying to be like there while they work around me. But It's good practice.
Living the dream, man.
And today it actually paid off, man. You know, I had some intimate moments with them.
I'm sure you did.
I think they were all married.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you feel any wedding rings over there?
One did have a wedding ring.
Took it off.
Why would she wear it though if she's like lubing you up? I mean, if she's gelling you up, my bad.
Well, they don't know what they're doing, but when they go
they don't know what they're doing.
Well, like the day of, so I guess it just didn't matter. But yeah, I mean,
she came in prepared.
Biggest tragedy was like of all of the people in these groups, like the cutest one by far of all these different groups, which is like, you know, like a dozen people per month because they keep rotating. Man, she has this like huge wedding ring on. And I'm just like, damn, you're totally married to like a really rich dude.
Literally,
it's tough.
It's amazing.
But yeah,
man, what an eventful weekend, man. England lost. And like
England lost to Italy.
They just tore those poor
British
kids up.
Isles. The British Isles have had a bad weekend.
Dude, they just tore those kids up, man.
What was the score at the end?
I mean, it went to penalties, and
yeah. I saw that.
Like they missed 3. Apparently, I didn't watch the game, but this is just how the story went. And every person that missed the penalties were extremely young, and they just happened to be black also.
Yes, yeah, I've heard so much controversy about that.
So as soon as the game was over and they lost, man, those real Brit gangsters, they dug deep in those comment sections, man.
Well, dude, I mean, the UK is an underappreciatedly racist country. Like you don't think about it too
honestly,
much.
Dude, England's a piece of shit place. Like, like.
I mean, I've called them pussies before.
No, I mean, dude, honestly though, the only good thing about them is they're like,
I just like them for their food.
Yeah, not even their food, not even their
they're
fish and
They're
chips.
not known for their food
like
though.
Their little pastries, them motherfuckers be hitting.
You talking about France or Britain? I mean, Britain's got pastries too, I guess, but like, I feel like they ain't like people aren't like, oh, British food, you know?
It's like these little strawberry candies that they be having.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking. I know exactly like. Are they wrapped in
like buy them at a store, right?
They can be wrapped up, and then they have some that if you go into like one of their little, like local bakeries, it's like spread it in like powder or something, like powdered sugar, and it's like strawberry gel or some shit.
I mean, Turkish Delight?
Is that what it's called?
Well, Turkish Delight's the gelatin stuff covered in powdered sugar.
Is that what I'm thinking about?
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
That's a completely different continent, son.
I mean, it's popular in Britain.
But I know the candy was what I was talking about. But then that was the second one that I was thinking about.
Okay.
But I thought it came from there.
Yeah, they got their stuff. But
honestly though, about Britain, I hate they're just guys, dude. Their guys are terrible. Like you ever watch those videos that they're like, they try to talk gangster.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't stand that shit. And they don't even have guns, so they're not like American like gangs where they'd be shooting shit. They'd be shanking shit instead.
There's all those videos of like the British gangsters just practicing where they just do like the quick, like it's so.
It's such a joke. But honestly, dude, when I was there, every waiter I had was hot, so no complaints. Like I'll go back.
The women there are phenomenal.
I won't say anything else because my mom watches this shit.
Okay.
Hey, look, phenomenal woman, phenomenal you.
I mean, I think that's just kind of like the thing where you go to a new place and the women are really attractive.
It is.
No, it's. I feel like it's
like sure there's things, but like
no, because I'll tell you what. Like people in Europe just happen to be a lot skinnier because of how they eat.
Yeah.
So like, if you ratio that out.
No. Okay. For sure. I understand that. Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting because even like driving into fucking buttfuck Kentucky a few months ago, like I was like, damn, there's some baddies out here. Even though going into it, I wasn't expecting to see it, but I could see how Europe is a whole.
Kentucky's a big, like especially their college. Like that's just a girls' school, pretty much.
Yes,
true.
Like if you're a guy and you go to Kentucky, you're going for one reason. The girls that go there, and I guess their basketball program.
And Mitch McConnell.
Who's that?
He's the senator of Kentucky.
Oh. All I know is the governor for Florida. That's my guy.
Yeah, dude, he's great, dude.
10 out of 10 guy.
He's the 10 out of 10 guy. But that's good that you can go and travel and you had like a pretty good experience,
I mean, yeah, until I got back and they searched me before I got on my plane.
Oh, no.
Dude, you have to be careful, dude.
I was so pissed off.
Western European countries, especially France, like Britain and like Germany and Spain.
France is known to be anti-Muslim.
France is the biggest Islamophobic country in the world. It's gotta be. Besides maybe Jerusalem, but like France is extremely Islamophobic.
But dude, no, I was so pissed off because I was getting on the plane and like I was already running late because like everybody was just chilling there and my phone was dying. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get an adapter real quick. I'm gonna plug this in and we're gonna charge it. I buy an adapter. On my way back, I see nobody. I'm like, holy shit, how did everybody
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah, it took like 5 minutes. Ain't no way they just boarded on like that. So I'm running with my bag.
They're punking you.
Yeah, I'm running there with my like orange ass hoodie. I walk in.
Oh, the orange hoodie.
And then they're like, oh, random search.
Right?
I'm like, okay. Okay. Well, I wonder what this 17-year-old kid that
sprinting to his flight, last one there. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was just like, and then like I was getting pissed. I was just like offended. I was like, yo, dog, you see that passport? It's American.
Right.
Like, come on now.
Right.
And I was like, who asked for this search? It was actually your country. I was like, okay, now we got beef. Now we got beef.
Your country. That's wild. And all he was trying to do was make his flight, and they tried to.
Yeah, bro. I was like, am I gonna miss my flight? Because they're taking a minute.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they won't wait for you just to like search you and shit. They're like, oh, sorry, this took too long. Your flight left.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, if I miss this shit and I have to like wait another 3 hours at the airport by myself, my phone dying.
Or it's like Home Alone 2. You gotta wait like a day, and you're just alone in fucking the UK.
That's bad, dude. I being there with family. Like they didn't let me spend any money. And they gave me money, so I was racked up in them pounds. So like I would have been fine. I would have had a good night there,
for sure.
But
he said I had no complaints, honestly.
Oh man, was it Home Alone 1 or 2 where he had like this big pouch? It was Home Alone 2 where he had this big pouch of money that he had like taken from his parents. So I think when he was in New York alone, he had enough money to like.
Yeah, the first one was when
he was living large.
Ain't no way that kid like lived buying anything.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was back in the 80s. You know, they didn't care about child safety back then.
At all. You could do whatever you wanted to do.
Man, time has made us soft.
Time has made us soft?
Society's soft, man.
But hey, man, this is a cycle.
Dude, I was watching like a Joe Rogan. Like, I don't watch TikToks. So I either watch Instagram Reels or YouTube.
Shorts?
Yeah.
Dude, YouTube Shorts, Joe Rogan is all over those.
Yeah,
at least mine are. At least my recommended are.
Mine are too. Like it's an acquired taste. But like he was saying, like how the Roman and like every like civilization they fell when like people started
it's the
to.
Thing. It's such a weird thing that is so pervasive through all of human history. Like this 4-step cycle. Like fucking what is it? Like hard times make strong people make good times make weak people make bad times. And then you start from square one.
Holy shit.
And it's literally, you can like trace that in the last 100 years. I mean, you see like World War, like depression, strong people. World War II, strong people. Baby boomers, weak people. Baby boomers make the hard times that we're in now. And then we're the ones who have to be the strong people to make it into good times.
But man, honestly,
I don't want to do that shit. Why do I got to be?
Yeah, bro. What is this pressure after like especially like with me for like the most part, like I feel like that cycle, like the end piece of shit of the cycle always like falls on me some way or the other
on like a personal level.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, what makes y'all think I can fix this?
Why me?
Parsa, you give off this aura of like responsibility.
I mean, yeah, it's like one of like my biggest things in life is I love to be responsible.
For sure.
So like I get it, but like
sometimes you wish you didn't have to play that role.
Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, man, you know, it would be good if I was just responsible for like the smaller aspect of
right. You wouldn't feel like you had such a load on. You know what I'm saying?
Rather to be the savior of the world and
having to carry everything on your shoulders.
Have to run for presidency.
Yeah, feeling like you're the only one who can solve the problems in the world.
Yeah,
that's such an interesting perspective. It's like the whole main character thing, right?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Gotta make
you are your story, man. It's my world, and you guys are living.
Yeah, you're the protagonist.
Yeah, and I hope it's the same way for you guys. You know?
Well, it's an interesting thing where like it's a very motivating thing to believe yourself the protagonist of your life, but then it's a very arrogant thing to think yourself the protagonist of other people's lives. And so it's like you got to have this big balance where you can motivate yourself by saying like my life's my story and I dictate it, but then as soon as you like start thinking that of other people's lives, that you're more important in their lives than they are, then it's like you get into some very dangerous territory. Socially.
Yeah, I mean it's like everybody should live their life thinking they're the man, but like you're the man when you're with you. But like when you're with other people, you also like have the responsibility to not look down on them. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Treat them as or more so to say, treat them how you would expect them to treat you. Treat them how you want to be treated.
Yeah. No, but it's hard to be nice though, because being nice gets you fucked over a lot.
It's a balance.
And it took me a really long time to learn to stop putting other people before I put myself. See, you know what I'm saying?
I learned a lesson to keep who's important to you. Yeah,
first, put them first and not, you know what I'm saying?
Take care of your circle.
Yes.
And if you really don't got to do anything for like somebody that's not as important or wouldn't do the same for you, it's really not your problem. And that was like one of the hardest pills to swallow for me.
It is,
like,
especially when it comes to people that you expect to have your back, and then especially when you know it comes to family. You wouldn't always expect family, but then again, you also keep in mind that the people that's closest to you are sometimes going to be the people that are going to hurt you the most and do the most, you know, messed up things to you type stuff. So you have to always keep, you know, be aware of stuff like that. But one of the things I am thankful for is the process of having such experiences with those type of people, because now in my mind, I know how to maneuver and I know how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can love you from a distance and still be comfortable with me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially, like, in things that are, like, social aspects.
Yes.
The best way to learn is to go through it. That's why, like, when you guys were up eating pancakes, I was watching another reel. And it
Some
was
bomb-ass pancakes, by the way.
Wonderful.
He had Nutella for the first
time. I just had
How many
Nutella
did you guys
upstairs.
each eat?
I ate 3. We both ate 3.
3 pancakes took you 5 minutes each?
Well,
how big were those pancakes?
They cook slowly, all right? I mean, it's like a process and shit. There's a family of 8 in this house, Parsa. I know you're like practically an only child. We got mouths to feed and shit, man.
Dude. But basically it's like for example, some people think that getting girls is only done by becoming successful and rich. So when you don't like focus on the aspect of actually socializing with people, and you're so focused on getting to that point, and then you do get to that point and you're like, okay, well, this girl doesn't actually like me, and there's no way for you to find out if that's true or not, which is probably true because you did reach that status and you thought that was the only way to get there.
That is.
So it's like, it's almost like if you spent more time socializing and learning those social skills that make you a better person in general, you wouldn't be dealing with it. You wouldn't be dealing with that.
Or would you be in that type of position? That's one of the things, like, you know, because life is all about experiences, and that's one of the things that I think, you know, you take it with you, because the experiences you go through, they're going to, as you know, I'm trying to think of what my grandma would say, but I can't think of her specific type of term that she would use. But like what I'm saying is, experience, they help you grow wiser. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they help you process and go through skills and maneuver differently. And it's just a certain mindset you have to adjust to. But low key, that part about them females and them, you know, trying to, you know, men trying to reach a certain status in life to get a female. I feel like the females nowadays, they make you feel like that too. You know what I'm saying?
So it's interesting. Well, recently So one of my friend groups, the ones I play Dungeons and Dragons with, they're
the rock stars.
They're a bunch of degenerates, right?
Not degenerate.
One of them, we always clown him because he, like, if he's not playing D&D with us, he's like working, and so he's like this like total like work nut. He's working, playing video games, or like hanging out with us, and so we always clown him, saying like Senahid, go get some bitches, you know, like
not that guy.
No, so we're always clowning him to like go chase a female, and then you know, he's always saying like, I'm in my bag, you know, like I don't need a girl, and it's interesting where it's like you said, like to some point maybe they think that getting to a certain point in life will then make it easier to get girls, but I also feel like we have this mentality that there's like a trade-off where you have to pursue one or the other.
And see, that's the spectrum that you got to understand. You can't just go fully on one side of being a hopeless romance.
Don't put all your peas in one basket.
Yeah, and you can't also be fully on your grind for the next 6 years.
But love won't put food on the table, and you don't want to eat at a table.
But also there's also no love at a table.
You don't want to eat at a table for one.
Shit ton of food on it, you know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I definitely feel where you're coming from, and I feel, you know, both ends. But I feel like with certain people, it comes to it, like if you can have a certain peace within your mind mentally. You feel what I'm saying? Because honestly, I feel like a female, or I'm not gonna put love into it, because everybody needs love. You know what I'm saying? Love is. I feel like I wouldn't. For some people, they might not look at it as a necessity, but I would definitely feel like love, regardless of if it's from family, close friends. I feel like that's something that's needed in my life. But I'm saying a female necessarily, I would be okay being a workaholic, being single, and not having nobody to come home to. And still, being on that type of work grind type stuff. I feel like that, having a female or having a woman figure in a male's life, I feel like that's just a plus.
And it's this weird thing where, I mean, like, when I was looking at this conversation they were having together, where one of them's like making fun of this guy for not getting any girls, and then there's the opposite. And I'm having this like idea in my head, and I'm sort of looking at it from the outside. It's this weird thing where I also have this feeling where I wake up one day and it's like I'm lonely as hell. I need to go fix that, and it's like disregard everything else. And then I wake up the next day and it's like I'm fine how I am. Let's just keep working and like just don't care about it.
Yeah.
And I actually. You guys know I have a Google Doc where I just write down shit that comes to my head, right?
Yeah.
I wrote down this I don't want to call it a bar, but it just sort of came to my head as I was literally looking at the conversation. It was just a two like rhyme. Actually, it'd be a great caption.
Yeah. Next week, Adam gonna be posted up on Instagram.
Well, I was. Well, no. Okay, no. Wait till you hear this shit. Wait till you hear this shit, because it's like I was looking at the text and literally I could just see it connect there, and I was like, I wrote something in my Google Doc. I won't pull it up now. It was something along the lines of, "While on the journey to rags and riches, I'm still trying to decide between bags or the bitches."
That is fine.
And that just I wrote that down. I was like, that'd be a dope ass Instagram caption.
That would be a good
Although it would come out of left field because I never post on Instagram. Like
it's like
I see Adam's feed just.
You could
just sitting here.
Yeah, you could definitely see me like posting something.
Yeah, I'll give that one to you, but I'm sitting here in this chair. Oh man. So that just came to me, and it's like, and it just kind of went with that entire thing I was thinking about, where deciding how to balance love and affection in your life, and your own goals and stuff like that. And this is a weird thing where, like I said, I just flip flop. I never have like a good balance of both, and whenever those two things do come together or conflict or stuff like that, it stresses me out, and it's hard to figure out, and it's still something that I struggle with. Is finding.
I feel you.
A big part of life is to like learn how to be alone, but not be lonely. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's the thing? I'm fine being. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I'm fine being alone and like just being by myself, obviously with my friends and stuff like that. But like I'm fine with like not pursuing affection. And then one day I wake up and I'm like, damn, I can't do my work because I feel so alone.
Yeah, I mean I get that, and like for me, I don't know, where do I start?
How'd you get your start?
Man. Should I tell a love story? Should I tell a fuck that bitch story? Should I? What do you want to hear, Adam?
I don't know if I need to hear anything. I just wanted to say that because it was one I thought it was funny to share.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, yeah, but for example, if you are gonna go get a bitch, like, who are you gonna go? Like, who are you gonna go for? Because, like, for me, I've had my most successful relationships when a girl has liked me first. And I've actually like made sure that her intentions
are
were
pure.
Like
yeah,
and they're on the straight and narrow. So I'm saying sometimes I feel what you're saying, and how you wake up and you may feel a moment one day and feel another moment the next day. But my thing is this: sometimes you're gonna have moments like this, but when your due season does come into play, you feel what I'm saying, and you do meet the type of person. I'm not trying to say that your female, let me say that. No, I'm not trying to say that your female is going to be perfect, but she may be the type of person that's meeting your type of criteria, your type of status, your type of standards and stuff like that. So when that time does come around, I feel like you're going to be more appreciative of that wait. Like, oh, you know what, bro? I'll spend all that time trying to think about, when this was going to happen and me being lonely. But you know what? I had my homies in that time period. I'm chilling. Now that I've waited and now that my season has come, now I got a girl that's really on top of her grind, like how I'm on top of mine. And she's not coming to the table empty-handed. She's coming to the table with all the cards that you like. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what though, Adam. This is what I tell myself every day. Like I'm just like screw the struggle right now, but when fall comes, because we didn't get a freshman year, like we didn't get a true freshman year, and that's been like one of my most annoying things ever.
Yeah.
So like I'm going next year. I'm going as a freshman. Like I do not care.
Freshman mentality.
Yeah, I'm living a freshman life with sophomore with sophomore like
all the good shit that comes with sophomore shit, and then but living
I'm not gonna be living in a dorm, but I'm gonna be living at a house.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna be a sophomore. Yeah. I'm gonna be a freshman.
Yeah, I understand.
You're gonna live like you're a freshman. And
so like and even into the spring, I was like, okay, like I expected college to be better. But I was like, ain't no way this is all college has to offer. Like, ain't no way you know what, with you know who, just to come to college and like be like, damn,
this is lame.
Yeah,
I understand.
But then I was like, all right, next fall. I told myself before spring started, I was like, I really don't care about spring. I really don't care about summer. I really just want to fast forward to fall.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I was just going to comment that I think a big reason why I wake up every other day feeling different is because my life has been pretty stagnant for like a year now, where like even if I'm trying to reach out and like pursue, whether it's my personal goals or whether it's affection from others, since nothing has changed in my life, it's like I'm still within the same circles and it's hard to, break out of that. And so I'm also thinking that like, when I'm in a different headspace and I'm in a different routine, like in the fall, once we go back to school, then like my entire mentality around this and the entire conversation will change, because I think this conversation, especially from my end, is born out of this year-long stint of like doing a lot of new things, or a lot of the same things without any change.
Like a change of scenery is like sometimes
shit.
like all you need, and that's like
change the wallpaper.
That's why I'm like, when Drake drops and like when fall starts, I'm gonna be a different man. And they're like, everybody's like, oh, you can't change so much like in such a short span. I'm gonna be like, watch me do it, because I know like
it's a personal thing and it's a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you have to do, at your own time, at your own pace, and
one thing you never want to do is try to change too much at once. But one thing you can do is better yourself in a snap of a finger.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing but striving every day to reach that certain mark, that certain goal that you have for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I hate when people be trying to downplay. Like, people be trying to downplay, like, oh, no, you can't do it, or you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do that crap within a short period of time. You don't know what I'm going to be able to do.
I'm a big prove you wrong type of guy.
And
I live for that.
I feel like that's where my competitiveness kicks in all the time. And that's why I'm such a, like, I ain't going to be the type of person that try to be, public and cocky with the certain things that I do. But if you type of person that you really trying to stun on me, like, best believe one way or the other, I'm going to show you wrong. Like, you're going to be on the other end of that spectrum looking stupid.
But basically, what were we talking about? We were talking about proving people wrong, but we took a 180.
I was just saying that, like,
was the process of change. You know what I'm saying? That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, and like, for example, you can't have an alcoholic that smokes a pack of Marlboro Reds a day and dips a can too, and you can't have that guy instantly wake up and be like, okay, I'm done with all of this.
Yeah, I'm done smoking. It's a process. It's a time that he has to go through.
But if you're like, okay, I'm gonna start drinking less, and by next week I'll be drinking once a day. And then I'm gonna stop smoking so much,
and I won't be finishing like 2 packs.
Yeah, and then it's a pack every 2 days, and then it's a pack every 3 days, and then it's a pack every 4 days, and then it's fuck it. If you really don't want it anymore, it's a pack a week, and then with dip, cold you're turkey.
Like. So when going through processes like that, would you guys per se that it's better to have I don't want to say necessarily say a support group, but would you necessarily say that it's something that you would have to do leaning on, or having a tight circle with friends and family, or do you think you would be able to go through something like that by yourself?
If you have a group of friends and you guys are like in it, and you guys all agree and you're all like, okay, we're gonna all hold each other accountable. Yeah, like being held accountable is like also like
accountability is very important.
It also comes back to like the same competitive nature of. I'm not going to prove you wrong and get back to it, but I'm going to prove you right because you think I won't.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things.
Yeah, a race to be clean the best. And I mean, like you were saying, where a guy who's addicted to 3 different things can't get rid of them all at once. Like I stopped drinking caffeine and doing nicotine at not at the same time, I should say, but I got rid of both of those year, and I did not do them at the same time because fuck that. But I relied heavily on caffeine when I got rid of the last one. Because it was like I was struggling really hard, and I actually didn't talk to anybody about it. It was interesting. It was hard. I mean, I probably would have been easier if I did, but
sometimes you do have to go through things by yourself.
I didn't have a choice. It was just sort of.
It's almost like can I do it by myself? If I can, I'm gonna do it by myself, and it's gonna be a self-fulfilling journey. Am I really down that bad? Do I need to be held accountable? Do I not have the mental strength to get through it by myself? Everybody's different. Everybody works through things differently. So whatever works for you really is the way you got to go.
I would have liked a support group, but
different strokes for different folks.
I mean, you got through it either way.
I got through it either way.
It's something that you got through. That's good though. I bet you feel a little bit better that you can overcome that, don't you though?
Oh yeah, no, I'm strong as hell, dude.
It takes a lot of strong willpower to do something like that.
Yeah, it does, Jesus.
Especially for like light things though. Like you'd expect, like what is that thing called when I can't think of that season, but it's like you get Lent when you give up something, or isn't that what it's called when you're supposed to?
Yeah. Well, caffeine was like that a lot. Just like basic stuff, like low amounts of caffeine, like the sodas. Like it's such a small thing that you don't notice too much, but once it's gone, it's a huge hole.
My cousin's been trying to get me to stop eating pork for like the longest.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Well, it's been a minute since I've had a good pork chop though.
Really? I love pork chop steak. Like she's been trying to have me cut down on red meat, pork. She wants me to go
vegan.
Not necessarily vegan, but she wants me to do like she's like maybe you should try having a
chicken breast and salmon,
like a grilled salad, or try switching up to some more seafood. But
no, red meat is great.
It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean as a growing boy,
you feel me?
And
I'll be hungry, but like. That's why when we were upstairs, I was telling this fool I might have a tapeworm in my stomach because I'll be eating literally like.
Yeah. But you have a fast metabolism.
He's partially convinced. But what if that's just been this ginormous tapeworm in his stomach?
That's been feeding off of me because
we got an ultrasound machine upstairs. We'll check you out after this if you want.
I have to, and then disclose that later. But the crazy part is like I said, I have not touched a gym since we've been out of school, and. The crazy part is like I've been chilling and the weight will be there one time and the next day it's just like gone.
Damn, dude, what a life to live, man.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom's like,
what I'd do to have that life.
And my mom looks at me, she's like, what'd you do, sleep it off? And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I go to sleep with a full stomach, and I wake up with that same shit there, and I'm like, fuck.
No, that's just Billy the 40-foot tapeworm eating all that shit.
Eating it because when I say it's not like I nibble on stuff, it's like I'm having a full meal.
I eat like crazy too, but I don't have as strong of a metabolism as you. You don't change very much. I'll change slightly, which is why I'll be like healthy and shit. Really? For like certain stints, I'll go like unhealthy, healthy stints.
But my thing is, I love food so much. Like recently, well, not too recent, but I dipped into Ethiopian food, and it was like an Ethiopian restaurant. Where was I? I was at somewhere with the dentist or something like that. And it was an Ethiopian restaurant, and it's not something that the bread was different, and it's like the spongy bread, and the lamb and everything was seasoned differently, but. It was such a good, tasteful experience that I couldn't just let it go. So it's like I've developed such a love for different types of food because I just had snail the other day too.
What the fuck? Where'd you go? Taiwan?
Paris? Was it a French restaurant?
I can't think of where it came from, but it was seasoned so good.
I'm sure it was. It was a snail, goddammit.
Bro, my mom lived above a cafe in Paris for 2 years, and she she had snail like twice, and she said she hated it both times.
Really? I don't know what it was, but whoever seasoned the snail that time, they did a spectacular job. It marinated it properly, and it tasted.
Well, that's how they just catch them, man. They just pour salt over a field, and then once the snails die.
When I had it, it was inside of a container, and it was like it was soaking, like it was sitting in some type of broth.
TJ, you look like you would know about this. Where can I get some good crab, man?
Some good crab.
Totally.
Okay, so First of all, Publix does a very good job because they even steam the food before you even.
Yeah, but I want that dirty red with the corn and the.
You know what I mean? Want like a whole boil, like put together and stuff like that. Pirate's boil is phenomenal.
How much we talking though?
It depends on your. I don't want to say your bag portion, and it also depends on if you're gonna do regular or like what type of sauce and stuff you want. But it's not even that much because I think I walked out a bag. I'll have to pull it up after because it's somewhere on my phone because I did it with the receipt and stuff like that, and I did a pickup. But it's not that much. Pirate's boil. I wouldn't say juicy crab because a lot of people are saying they.
All right, okay. Dude, what about those fights though?
Last weekend?
Yeah.
That was crazy. We were talking about how it was an unfortunate week for the English Isles, Ireland included. Not part of the UK specifically. Part of Ireland is, but I think Conor McGregor is unfortunately from Southern Ireland.
Because he
poor guy
broke his ankle, didn't he?
He broke his fibia and tibia.
Jesus.
He broke both bones in his.
Did you guys see the picture? Because it looked like his
I saw it live, and as soon as I saw him sit down, I was like, "Oh no, he's hurt."
No, I saw it happen. Like the camera angle that they were focused on during when it just happened was above the knee, so you couldn't really see it. But I saw the expression in his face, and just like him stepping back,
and as soon as
him slouching slightly, and then him like face arching in pain. I was like, "No way, no chance."
Like, no. That's like I saw that. I saw him like. He kicked, he landed, and then he sat down, and I like you're right, like the camera didn't show the bottom,
but I was like, "There's no way."
But like I was like, did he just tear his ACL or something?
Yeah, some like, injury.
Yeah, like I was like, he's definitely injured.
And then him taking, and then
him getting like beat down. I was like, oh my god, dude, this poor guy is like probably like incredibly in pain, but like he's probably like adrenaline up.
Oh, he was. Yeah. I mean, that post-fight interview was crazy.
Oh, your wife's to my DMs, man. Oh, fuck you.
We'll be at the after party. My man was fucking going off on Dustin. It was hilarious. But yeah, now he's like he's like still in the hospital on morphine just constantly. That's why he's tweeting a bunch of weird shit. Because he's just met it up, and he's tweeting weird shit. He's like tweeting stuff and deleting it like right after. He's tweeted like I think he tweeted like an apology to Dustin and his family. I think he tweeted like a death threat almost, or like just like a threat, and then deleted it again. He's just been like, yeah, I'm sure he's just in the hospital, laid up, nothing to do but sit on his phone on pain meds, and yeah, that breeds the weirdest shit on Twitter.
But he talking the most Cash Money talk, like he really going crazy on that boy.
It's so annoying because like we're watching it live, and I mean, as far as the entire event goes, like the fights you thought would be bangers weren't bangers, and the fights that were sort of under the radar were bangers.
That Sean O'Malley, dude, he was just beating the other kid
Chris Martino, dude.
Oh my god,
that guy. I mean, it was this weird thing. So everyone's saying like, oh, he showed so much heart because he took the fight on short notice, UFC debut, and got fucking 300 hits to the head. And everyone's like, man, he's got some really good heart. And it's like. And there's this rift in the community where a lot of people are saying, yeah, he's got a lot of heart, he's got a lot of toughness, but other people are saying he's just not a good fighter.
He's just not good. He's just not good.
I don't blame the kid, bro, because he I mean, yeah, it was his first like UFC fight, so okay, we'll give it to him. What was he supposed to do? Win? He took a 10 days notice. Yeah. Had a job before, so he had to quit the job. I was just like, dude, this guy had a job 10 days ago, and now he's getting his face bashed in by Sean O'Malley.
I can totally respect him for that. Because, I mean, like, Sean doesn't just, like, get a lucky shot and hit you, but to take 300 hits from him and not go down, not go unconscious, I should say, really, really, really impressive.
And just walk forward into all of them the whole time.
Zombie through the whole thing. It was crazy.
And I was just like, we were watching it, like, a day or two after it happened, and my friend was like, well, he wasn't hitting him hard. I was like, well, he's still hitting him. Well, no, it doesn't matter if it's hard or not.
Yeah, no, and it's hard. I mean, like
I mean, it's a punch.
Like, no, he's knocked out. He's knocked out all but 2 of his opponents that he's won against. Like he's knocked out 10 guys because he does that same thing that he did to Chris against certain people, and they're out in half a round. If he gets like 2.5 minutes of full connections, like they're going out. But to take that, like Sean was telling how much his hands hurt after the thing, but it's this weird thing. I don't think. I mean,
dude, before the ref stopped it, I was like, okay, he's gonna come in with this one hook, and it's just gonna get him clean.
I mean, Sean's got a great chin, but no, that was a banger. And then like some of the other ones earlier in the card were great, but the co-main event I was really excited for, but that was uneventful. And of course, it's just the biggest thing is that just there's so much hype going into this big thing, and then for it to end unclimactically is like such a big like blue
I
ball.
really
It's like
wanted
such a big
to see
blue.
a
It's such a
second
big
round.
blue ball.
I really wanted to see a second round.
Yeah, I wanted to see the rest of that fight.
That.
But the thing is, like, so apparently the reason like it broke like the way it did was because it got injured in training.
There's
camp,
a lot. Yeah, there's
supposedly.
a lot of contention about why it broke.
I mean,
the initial reports were that during the fight it got checked or something like that, and then those were falsified. But then his coach is coming out saying that he injured it a little bit in practice. But I mean, no matter what, like that was just like unlucky. Just that placement.
I feel like so. Apparently, they were looking into it, and like it was such a small hairline fracture that it like you couldn't do much with it. You couldn't see much about it. You couldn't really diagnose it enough to call off a fight.
But it makes the integrity of the leg just like
significantly. But I can only imagine how like you have a crack here and you're constantly fighting training camp, and then you get into a real fight.
Yeah,
where you told the guy you'll fucking kill him, and I mean he's gonna kick you.
Yeah, and then and it's just like those things where like I mean you have like a stick, and if you just make like a small break on it, it becomes like significantly less strong, like to stuff like that.
But do you think he's gonna come back? I think he's done for.
Well, it's just I mean that's the question whether or not it's just
it's a hard sell, man. Yeah, I don't like. I think he'll probably do a couple more fights.
I think he'll fight one more time. I think he'll fight Nate Diaz again.
I think losing 3 out of his last 4 fights, he's gonna have to fight like somewhat of an.
I don't know because like there was the whole thing where if he loses, he's not gonna go back into the rankings and just start fighting again because he's no longer like an MMA fighter. He's just like a prize fighter. So he's definitely not gonna fight like up and comers. He's not gonna do that. He's just gonna Nate Diaz. He beat him. Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor. Big huge upset like in 2015. Conor McGregor comes back, beats him. It's similar to Dustin, but a little flipped.
So
and then they do the trilogy, and those are the 2 biggest stars in the company. So it's like a huge pay-per-view, a lot of money, and then I think he's out. But that's got to be like 2 years down the line. Because you got to probably a whole year to recover, and then a whole another year to book it.
It's not even that the bone's broken, but the way that shit flipped. Well, there's some nerves and a lot of muscle.
It's like to happen. It's the third. It's like the top 3 worst injuries to happen to someone in the UFC octagon. Literally, are all the leg breaks. Like and what's crazy is that it wasn't exactly like Conor's, but those shin bones right there, those been broken 3 times by UFC fighters. One was in like 2015. Anderson Silva like snapped his leg, and then one was. I mean, I think you remember it just a few months ago. The guy snapped his leg on a leg check, and it was
flapping.
Yeah, and it's like the same thing, like the same break happened to Conor, but in a different way. But it's crazy that they happen so close to each other because the last one was 7 years ago, then another one happened 7 years later, and then only a few months later is the next one. And it's crazy that like the 3rd worst injury to happen to anyone in the sport happened to just Conor McGregor after the most anticipated pay-per-view. Like it's just such a weird thing. It's like this weird cosmic thing, similar to the last one. Like it's just like this shit is so weird. And going into it, I even thought. I didn't think about it, but like, because the idea that only one of them could win, and it was like thinking that like both of them were really good fighters, both of them were really hyped up, and it felt like there could be no winner at the end. It sort of had to end in a way like this because cosmically there was like no other way for it to end in my mind because I expected both guys to just. Because I wanted both guys to win,
dude.
Thus, it had to end by like a crazy method.
I thought that Dustin would win. Just because, like, I feel like he would be the better fighter going into that fight.
He is the better fighter.
Yeah, and he is. But bottom of my heart, I really wanted Conor to just stick him.
Yeah, right.
Like, and
right?
like, I bet on Poirier, but like, I was cheering on.
Oh, that's
Conor.
the thing. Yeah, you put your money on Poirier, your support behind Conor.
Yeah, like I made a good business.
He was
decision.
trying to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I made a good business, and like worst case scenario, if I lost, it was $5. Yeah, and I'd be like, fuck yeah.
But
Conor beat him.
But yeah, it's the thing. It's. Nobody wanted to see either of them lose. So like lose in a normal way. Like well, I mean everyone did.
Everyone did want to see.
But like it was such a big. It was so hyped up that it had to end in an unceremonious way.
Dude, kids like Conor's sitting there with his broken whatever, and he's like, "I hope they didn't count that as a loss." So I'm like,
no, he was yelling at the ref. He was saying doctor stoppage. Because there was the whole thing the last 8 seconds where he's getting pounded on.
Yeah, and he didn't tap or anything.
Well, he's not like stepping in because it was that weird thing where I think Herb knew that his leg. Well, there was 2 things where I think one Herb knew he was injured, but then also more importantly, I think in big fights like this, he's more hesitant to.
Yeah, it was such a like end of the round,
and so it was and so Conor was advocating for doctor stoppage TKO rather than just a normal TKO, because when you look at a record, if you see doctor stoppage TKO, it's somehow less embarrassing than just a normal TKO.
I mean, it really is, because like he did get his shit broken. And he did
it's this thing where, I mean, there's this whole theory behind it where if you have to have a doctor come in and stop the fight, if the fighter like
it's out of the fighter's control.
The fighter doesn't know how to give up after their foot's been broken, or the ref doesn't know to stop it in that moment. There's like, I don't know. I view the sport at a different way than a lot of people, but. No, it's crazy, and it's unfortunate. It definitely a feels bad moment, but oh boy,
I think he might be done for good.
He could totally be. He doesn't. I mean, there's no need for him to fight.
I mean, there isn't, but like there is a need in my heart to see that man out again.
That's the thing, man. I mean, everyone, no matter what he does, he's still gonna be loved.
He's a really one of a kind, like, personality.
Sure, for sure. Did you guys hear this report about coming out of Texas about the law about the bills being passed there and all the reactions to them?
What?
So I'll break it down. I just wanted to see if you had any prior knowledge, but
I heard some people like flying to DC.
Texas is passing new voting bills, like changes to their local elections. And I was looking into stuff like that, but the big controversy is that they're going to vote on these bills, and Texas in their state senate has a huge pretty big Republican majority, and so it was going to pass easily. But to filibuster the process, which filibustering, hilarious. Instead of talking their way indefinitely until the bill's window for being voted on passes, Democratic lawmakers instead got on a private jet and flew to Washington D.C. To literally not be there, so you can't vote on the bill if 45% of your of the Senate isn't there. And so they flew to the White House, and the president took them in and stuff like that.
What a fucking pussy!
It's just hilarious. It's one of the funniest things. Well, I mean, I think the funniest thing is that these lawmakers are super rich, but it's like these they're
getting that money.
They all got shuttled on a private jet.
No masks either. Let's.
And there's a case of Coors Light and shit like that, and they're getting put in hotels in DC and stuff like that. And it's like this little protest, which is, not even to speak to the validity of it, but it's all on the taxpayer's dime. Which I just think it's just funny that they're doing all these antics and stuff like that, and we're paying for the private jet and the hotels.
I did see a tweet saying the Texas governor sent somebody. He was like, as soon as they come back, they'll be arrested. And I'm
yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I mean, they'll just be taken into office. But dude, how do you have so many balls on you? Half of them were women, bro. They just said fuck this and dipped.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you got a private jet waiting for you and you feel like you're, better than everyone else, then yeah, you can do it.
What about the protests in Cuba, man? Apparently for vaccines.
They're protesting.
They're protesting because the healthcare system there sucks.
I mean, I think they're also just tired of communism.
Yeah, that's exactly
what do I know?
That's exactly it. I mean, I haven't been keeping up with it, and it's like I always say, don't have strong opinions about things you don't know about.
I mean, I have, but my view is completely one-sided on it.
Hey, man, if you feel like sharing it.
I mean, it's just I feel like communism's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's historically been pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean,
he said historically it's been pretty bad. Well, yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's I totally brained out, but
I don't know if it's all about their healthcare, because I watched this video.
Government as a whole, the government corruption as a whole, but just with everyone else being really getting more and more vaccinated.
Bro, it's not about vaccinations, man.
Well, in
Cubans don't care about vaccinations. They're starving, okay?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, COVID deaths are still really high in Cuba.
Yeah, but
and so they're pissed because the government isn't sufficiently distributing vaccines.
I mean, if they're not distributing vaccines,
because the system as a whole is wrong.
How do they know it's not the flu killing them?
Because you take a person's blood, you see COVID viruses in it, and you're like, okay, they must have died from that. I mean, I don't know. It's science or something. But I mean, it's just the thing where it's the straw that broke the Cuban camel's back. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's just like it's. I mean,
you know what they say: weak times create strong men.
I guess, yeah. I mean that's going all around the world.
No, but I don't see it going anywhere.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they're just gonna.
It's gonna die down.
Yeah, the world's gonna forget about it in a week.
Well, they always the world's gonna forget about it. Yeah, it's gonna keep going on, but we're gonna stop talking about it.
Yeah, and you know,
I mean, like Israel Palestine hasn't died down. Like has died down slightly, but not a lot. Have you seen a post about it? We talked about it for a week, and then we got rid of it, and then we forgot about it.
Hey man, just Instagram repost, they move on.
Exactly. But then like
the woke girls, they move on.
Yeah, the college girls, they move on. They I mean, there's so many things to post about that like they can't just post about everything.
Yeah,
man. They try.
I mean,
they try.
Trust me, especially back in the day, they really tried. Be attacking 7 different issues. And I'm like, bro, did you read this 10 slide like repost that you posted? Because I'm not reading this. I'm sliding through and I'm like,
I'd be like, do you even know what all you talking about?
Right. And then I mean, my least favorite accounts on Instagram are like the shit you should care about. It's like why do you get to decide the shit I should care about? Like,
I mean, dude, 7 billion people in the world, and like, you know, I'm trying to care about me, bro. Like I got things to do.
I mean, yeah, it's like there's like, you know, I guess work within your means, you know, like. I don't know. I could say it a billion times, it would have no effect, but like, I don't know. I mean, I just 500 people who live in a community who are friends with each other, you know, in relation, you know, our social group like does like we all follow each other and shit like that, and we all see the same shit on Instagram. If we're just sharing the same bullshit between each other, like nobody's learning anything. We're just we're just echoing in this created chamber. One might call it an echo chamber. I don't know. It's whatever.
It's a cycle, man.
Recycled content.
Life's a big cycle within cycles.
Life's a big wheel.
It just keeps.
You know, my
spinning.
favorite media are the ones, like I should say, like TV shows and stories and stuff like that are all about stories that transcend the cycle of humanity and like break and sort of identify it and then break it in a certain way that helps in the confines of the universe. Like, do you ever watch Westworld?
No.
The sci-fi like thriller show, great show on HBO. Honestly, like one of my favorite shows.
Dude, I just don't have an HBO account,
dude. Oh my god, mine has just been super acting up recently. It's been really fucking annoying, but great show. You know, explores a lot of deep things about humanity, both on a personal and a societal level. And
I love reading about like old Greek, like Greece and Sparta and like
ancient history is fucking
dude,
amazing.
It's beautiful.
Dude. Yeah,
I love that shit.
Yeah, and when you look back at there, you can definitely identify those cycles.
Like I was in the kitchen with my mom. I was like in the kitchen with my mom, and like I was like, no offense to America, but like world history just sounds a lot more interesting
than American history.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, yeah, I'm just like, damn, bro. Like,
well, it's just you know, it's just cooler learning about.
It's just because it's so different. Like. Yeah. Motherfuckers was building pyramids and temples.
Well, there's also another thing in history where it's the level we've progressed to now. The world as a whole goes through this thing where like in terms of everything, in terms of like our ideologies and our sciences and everything we create, our progress goes up and then is like stunted and then goes up and then is stunted and then goes up. Like we see like ancient Rome was an amazing civilization, like spanned everywhere, architecture amazing, like science and technology that was like really advanced. And then after the fall of the Roman Empire, like all that technology doesn't come back until like 2,000 years later. A lot of that like innovation doesn't come back 2,000 years later. Like these events in history, like the burning of the Library of Alexandria, which like literally had paper, the only paper versions of like major scientific breakthroughs were like burned to the ground, and then the people who knew them died, and then we were just set back to square one. It's this interesting thing where if you look at all the moments in history where something important died, where like I forget what the name of it was, but the ancient Islamic empire that lived in that whole area, I don't think it was the Persians, it was one of their contemporaries, but after like
was it the Turks?
May have been. It's a name.
I know it's on the tip of my tongue, but go on.
But like they had amazing breakthroughs in like algebra and sciences, and then
it was the Persian Empire.
It might have been, but it was, yeah, it was like the Greater Persian Empire, but it had a different name, specifically this area. And
Ottoman.
No, it was like a Mian kind of thing, an MIAN at the end. But like the Crusaders come through and like burn it all to the ground and like cleanse the culture and shit like that. But it was, I think it might have been also been self-inflicted. But then like we lose all that knowledge and shit like that, and it's like these like curves that we're going through as we progress, where you have to think that if all of these situations in history where our growth wasn't stunted, like where would we be right now?
That's crazy.
It's an interesting like thought experiment.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
crazy because now we got the internet, so like burn whatever the fuck you want.
But like what if like I love the
he said burn whatever the
like I love like the Library of Alexandria thing where all the knowledge in the world, I forget which empire it was, it might have been Macedonia, or it might have been like the Mesopotamians, but like all the knowledge that was known along the entire empire was collected in this one place, and it could have been like anything. We never knew what was in there. Like it could be like I don't know, they could have known shit. They could have known crazy shit, and then it's burned to the ground. And now there's stuff there that they knew that maybe we don't know, like the cures to cancer or something like that. Like and
some herbal shit.
It's this interesting thought experiment about what was in there and if it did exist and was spread out and survived all of these years, what would the world look like right now?
Now we SOL.
Now if I could time travel, we check it out.
Time travel. I was recently watching Loki and like all the time travel shit in there, and time travel is an interesting thing, man. I used to be really into time travel, especially whenever I get into a Doctor Who watching mood. And
Doctor Who.
I was watching this Neil deGrasse Tyson video on it, and he laid out this theory, and I was wondering what you think about it. That although the field of like making definitive hypotheses about time travel is pretty bare, he says that he predicts that there will be this hypothesis that can get like sort of proven, quote unquote, that it's impossible. It'll be discovered at some point that it's impossible to travel backwards in time, because there's the whole thing where if you're thinking about like traveling backwards in time and how that impacts the future, that you have like alternate timelines and shit. But like if we stick with the idea that time is completely congruent and everything that happens sets up the future, then it would be hypothetically impossible to travel backwards, because then the world would constantly be changing. Because like if there was one timeline that was constantly being changed by people in the future traveling to the past and like changing the course of human events, there'd be no point to it, right? Because I'm trying to wrap your head around it.
I'm following,
but like if history is constantly imagine somebody 1,000 years from now creates time travel and they go back in time and they change history, and then you see how there's no point to it if people can travel back in time and there's only like one congruent timeline that
if there was more,
because the world would constantly be changing so much that it's like an infinite loop of change, because it's really hard to explain, but like there's no I'm sorry, I thought I need to go back and look at it, but
what if you could do it right? But what if you could like go to America like before Christ?
But it's really just saying that it's impossible it would be impossible for that to happen, because like time would mean nothing to us right now sitting here if somewhere in the future someone went back in time before what we're doing right now and changed it, and then like that, and then like what they changed caused us to be sitting here right now. Like it would be the thing where like, did the universe just happen like 30 seconds ago and all of our memories just popped into our heads 30 seconds ago? Or like, what if the universe was just created and now we're all sitting here for some reason? Like if history is constantly changing, there's no point in it changing at all.
Well, I mean, the idea of not being able to travel backwards makes sense, because I mean, it just does. Like I could definitely see somebody like fucking shooting into a spaceship and just going fast as fuck, and then boom, they're 1,000 years like ahead.
But I think you would be able to go forwards in time. But then there's also the thing where like, how does time work? Where if somebody is accidentally jettisoned to the future, like were they supposed to do shit in the present that would affect the future that they're then traveling to? Like what if the president of the United States disappeared and he was supposed to like do some really important shit in his lifetime right now, and then that he's going to a future that he was no longer a part of because he was sent to it. I don't know, man.
It's a
time travel.
It's a talk and a half.
It's a touch and go situation.
We're gonna get a time travel expert over here next episode.
Do we know any time travel experts?
I don't think so.
Not even close.
Think we can get Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Is that the guy that you watched the video on?
You don't know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
No.
You would know if you looked at him. Like the black astrophysicist who's like super charismatic, and he's like Bill Nye, but black.
The one that used to do all those little Earth. The one that used to be on TV all the time.
I'm sure it's the same one you're thinking.
Yeah,
of.
he used to be traveling in that little tall spaceship thing and all the little.
Yeah. That one, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's great.
Anytime you're in biology class or something, he's like going over. You know what I'm saying? They turn on that one little scientific video in class and stuff.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, really, guys? Come on. Neil.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye.
Man,
science.
Waiting for you guys to eat those pancakes. Oh wow. Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, why don't you just say that guy?
Sorry, my bad.
You want it?
Don't throw my phone across the concrete floor.
I really just don't want to throw it on you either, so I'm just gonna hold on to it. Come on. You want it?
Yeah. Give me my phone.
I don't trust here.
There we go.
I never dropped that shit.
Yeah, I mean I was just like, is it gonna hit this?
Well, the listeners don't have to know that. They can think that you spiked it across the room and I still caught it like a baller.
Right.
Dude, have y'all ever like thrown anything with the slap on your hand?
Yeah.
I do. It's so odd. Like when I do it and like people see it, they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like,
people don't. What?
Yeah.
That's like the most common way I throw things.
It's so easy to sling something.
Like car keys.
Yeah.
Boom. A phone. Boom.
Like, look at this. Look how smooth this is.
And it's perfect because it's this sort of weird trick of physics where like you don't need to throw your arm a whole lot, but it's inertia. It's
the same
and
thing.
The crazy
as, like,
part is the water bottle didn't even go that far.
You don't have to.
It was still within pretty good range.
Yeah, and it stops. It doesn't require you to do the effort of like stopping your hand on your own. It just, since you stop with your other hand, you don't feel the strain on your arm.
You don't got to slap the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, you just stop it. And you don't.
I can see retards.
So you don't have to. So you don't have to full send your arm. It's just. It's like a light amount of effort for a lot of distance.
Yeah, and like you learn to aim it over time.
And it's like everything you see in especially car keys. I love doing that with car keys because it's like in movies. That's how they always throw car keys. Is with a.
Is that how it happened in Tokyo Drift?
Something like that, where it's like get to the car and it's like keys. And then
I've never seen that in a movie. That's bullshit.
No, it's everywhere. I'll totally have to find it.
Whatever you say.
It's like in a comedy, like, yo, we gotta get in the car, and he's like, catch. That's it. It's always the slap on the wrist.
Practice your practice.
Try that out. So you see, it generates a lot of distance without a whole lot of effort.
And it didn't even go that.
And it's it feels very stable.
Very effective.
Well, because when you're throwing something like that, where you have to like flick your wrist and like open your hand, that can impact the direction too.
Yeah, it's just like shooting a basketball. That's why I do it like this.
you throw your basketballs like that. That's why you never score.
I'm at the rim.
That's true. Your layups like that. Oh, Parsa, actually, now that you're here, I was gonna see if you have any reflections on the Hawks. I guess I already asked you this before, but
well, I mean, we'll be back next year. We overachieved, so there's no point to be down.
So do you think, looking back on it, do you think your Hawks in 4 prediction was just being like did you actually think it was gonna happen and then it didn't happen, or were you being like optimistic?
I was hoping it would happen, and I hate Giannis, so I really wanted it to happen. So I was hoping it would happen, but Trey got injured. So
totally fair. Fair.
You can't, if Trey didn't get injured,
you can't plan around that.
We'd be in the finals right now. Series would be 2-2, and they're playing right now. So.
Oh, the Bucks and the Suns.
Yeah.
And Suns are winning that, right?
Or is
this game? Or is it 2-2 right now?
It's 2-1 right now. This game decides if it's gonna be even. Or
because the Suns won the first 2, so it kind of felt like, oh shit, they're gonna
a playoffs. I heard somebody say this a long time ago, and I've held it dear to my heart. A playoff series in basketball hasn't really started unless the home team, unless you win on their home court, and the Suns won both of those on their home court, and the Bucks won one of their games at their home court, and the second one's tonight.
Okay.
So if the Suns win tonight, they'll technically be in control, and they'll be up 3 in that series.
It'll be their game to win.
Yeah, and nobody's ever came back from being down 3-1 except the fucking GOAT, LeBron. Did it in 2016 to the 73-9 Warriors.
LeBron. Man,
his movie drops Friday.
Dude, just wait until I tell Parsa about LeBron in China.
What about it?
I don't know. There's been stories about that too. About LeBron and the Chinese government.
What about it?
Well, I mean, honestly, like I don't even know. Like, it's not even like a scandal. I mean, like China owns the NBA almost.
Oh, bullshit. Adam Silver's the commissioner.
Well, I'm just. I mean, it's like every media organization in the United States. Like they pander a lot to the Chinese government because of their audience, aka 1.6 billion Chinese people.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't want to see a bunch of Chinese people playing basketball either, so I'll watch the NBA too.
No, I mean it's like the thing where, oh God, LeBron.
So are you saying LeBron's a Chinese puppet?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. Wrap up.
His biggest shoe sales are in China. If he says anything bad about China, then
yeah, so he won't.
Billions of dollars gone.
What do you think?
Well, I'm saying,
the Chinese
and then NBA
virus?
players who do speak out against China are fucking cut. You heard stories about that?
No.
Yeah, there's been like, I mean, I only know about two or three, but like you know, like a NBA player, most of them pretty minor, no real big names, will just speak out against like something like China did and shit, and then it's just like, oh, they're not on their team anymore.
Out of the league.
Oh, they're a free agent now? Cool, that's crazy. Oh, they're blacklisted from every team? Well, that's crazy.
What happened to him?
That's wild. I'm gonna pay attention to that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
sure
the same as
it's
the same as Hollywood. I mean, like, I didn't say this to anybody because I feel like controversial, but I was thinking about it with the whole Black Widow release and stuff like that, where everyone's saying, you know, like, oh, Black Widow's, you know, great for females, being female directed and female led movie. And I'm like, yes, I agree with that. And apparently it was like a surprisingly good movie, which I'm glad about. But then it's like, you're never going to see like an openly gay main character, like lead in a Marvel movie because the Chinese government would never let it get shown to their people. You know, and you see all the movie posters, like Black Panther movie poster, the Chinese one, the Star Wars Force Awakens movie poster in China, where they made Finn and they like took him and they threw him like at the back of the crowd, shit like that. You know, it's like you're not like.
What was the Black Panther? They just threw his mask on it, right?
Yeah, they just covered his face with like in post with like a horrible looking CG mask that wasn't even like the actual Black Panther's mask. They just covered his face.
Why?
Because
are they anti-black too?
It's a very xenophobic country, yeah.
Interesting, because they like LeBron.
Well, yeah, I mean, they view LeBron as this African giant who can do all these crazy physical stuff. They don't look at him as like, oh, that's a respectable human being who has. And I mean, not to speak ill of the Chinese people, they're perfectly fine. It's just it's a cultural thing mixed with the harsh rules of their authoritarian government.
Yeah, because I know China's a big basketball, like a lot of like basketball players in the summer like used to go there, like once a year and like have a camp and like sign a bunch of shit and like play basketball with Chinese people.
I mean, it's the worst thing because it's just like it could be a great country, but every aspect of it isn't intertwined with the government, and that just makes it all sour. It makes it all feel sour. Like all their media corporations are.
That's what Biden wants to do.
Bittersweet. You saw what Biden wants.
Oh boy, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on with that, with the new anti-terror bills coming into. Or the new domestic terrorist laws getting put into place. Very scary shit.
Like what?
Well, like in response to January 6th, like new laws being proposed that kind of feel very Patriot Act-y, you know, Patriot Act after 9/11. Like if you look at the rhetoric and the Patriot Act laws that were passed by like the Bush administration after 9/11, and the domestic terror laws that are getting passed that are being proposed to get passed by this administration after January 6th, they just feel too eerily similar to each other. And the Patriot Act, I don't know if you guys knew, it was a terrible, terrible thing. You know, like spying on Muslim citizens and like the whole data, like government in your data thing wasn't really a thing before 2001. After 9/11, they're in your DMs. Like that was the whole thing where like in the Patriot Act, it said government intelligence agencies, they can spy on you however they want to. It wasn't explicit, and that's why there was the whole whistleblow in 2013 with Edward Snowden. But like, that's the thing, and just we've improved a little bit from a lot of those policies, but like it's really scary to see another set of bills being passed that would give protections like that, spying on citizens, you know, towards the end of stopping extremist groups. But I don't know. It's been a long week. I haven't been paying attention to politics as much.
And that's just supposed to be like all citizens that he's trying to.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then like the worst thing is that it's like really targeting like well, it's targeting mostly far right extremists, like the ones who perpetrated the January 6th attack, and I think it's I mean, similar to 9/11, it's blowing a group's danger out of proportion. You know, instead of, you know, every Muslim citizen in the country being extremely dangerous threats, it's the fucking clowns.
The goofballs
who went on January 6th, and it's
these fucking nuts.
It's and it's a little scary, but I've said my piece.
All right.
Thank you both for joining me.
Of course.
CJ, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back.
Pleasure.
Obviously, I had Jack on last time, and it was good talking with him. But I do love having you two back in the room. Add some color to it.
We hope everybody has finally relaxed and enjoyed your whole entire week. We hope you have a wonderful weekend going into this, guys. Don't forget to take the little things, you know, in life and take them, you know, enjoy yourself, because, you know, life's too short. You never know, you know, anything can happen on any day, any given basement. Make sure you love on somebody. Enjoy yourself.
Yep. Everybody have a great weekend. But until then, this is Floor 26 out.
Peace out.
Deuces.